Breaking news this morning in the case of Kenneth Law. He's a Mississauga, Ontario man accused of sending poisons to people at risk of suicide. The investigation has now spread to New Zealand. A new probe underway there. Officials investigating an unspecified number of deaths possibly connected to this case. Let's bring in Chris Ensing, who has the details. Just breaking this morning. What are we hearing from officials in New Zealand, Chris?
Yes, Heather, they're saying that their coroner's court has received multiple reports of deaths that they believe may be linked to a man who is in Canada charged with counseling and aiding suicide. They say that the coroner's court is starting an inquiry process right now. They do not mention the number of cases, and they do not say when these have been brought to attention. The only other details we really have here is that the matter is active before the courts. According to the coroner's office, they won't be releasing any additional details. This is the latest that we've heard from an international body that is investigating something related to Law. What we have also heard are the probes that have been expanded in connection to sites that make available lethal drugs to people who may be capable of inflicting self-harm. Just last week, we heard from the British police that there are 88 individuals that they believe in the UK that have accessed Canadian sites in order to purchase these products that have then later died. They're continuing these probes along with other countries, and a lot of this is connecting back to those original charges that happened back in May when Kenneth Law was arrested for aiding and counseling suicide here in Canada. That was 2 charges that had happened during the initial arrest back at the beginning, in the spring of this year.
So, Chris, as you say, New Zealand this morning, yes, the UK, and in recent days, new charges against Law here in Canada as well. What is the latest in this country?
Yes, those initial 2 charges now up to 14, following 12 more charges that were issued this week in Ontario. Police saying that he has now been charged in connections to deaths that have occurred from London to Toronto, as far north as Thunder Bay, as 11 police jurisdictions within this province continue that investigation to probe out the connections that they believe Law may have had with these sites that were set up in 2020 and made available to people. And they are also expanding this probe across Canada. We heard recently as well from Saskatchewan saying that they have launched investigations, 3 police services there, dealing with instances where they believe there might be connections with Law as well. We should add, these are all allegations. None of these have been tested at court. We hear from police who allege that he has sent over 1,200 kits across 40 countries, and that they want anyone with any information related to this to give them a call, to contact your local authorities as they continue this probe, a probe now that has seen different charges in Ontario, but investigations launched in New Zealand, in Italy, and in the British forces as well, trying to understand how wide this all goes. Heather?